I went to my local hardwood supplier. I found the whitest maple I could find. I found the darkest black walnut I could find. On today's Saturday project with Woodworking to West, we're going to build something really cool. We're going to build a checkerboard. Now this only requires a table saw, a benchtop planer, and a bunch of sanding. Let's go. With the rip blade installed on my table saw, I ripped all of my stock to 2 1/4 inches wide. And we're getting ready to glue up now. Now, chessboards are 8 strips wide, alternating dark and light. But my planer is only 12 inches wide, and so we're going to glue this up as 2 pieces together like this, and then we'll run it through the planer. Now when I originally milled it, when I originally surfaced it to thickness, I surfaced it to 7/8 of an inch. We want our chessboard to be 3/4 of an inch, and so what we do after we get this glued up, we'll run it through the planer again and take off any unevenness in our boards and glue the 2 halves together. Then we only have 1 seam to sand. So let's go that far. Okay, we've put on plenty of glue because we want to be able to make sure that we're not having any problems with our glue. I've made my maple strips a little longer so that when we run it through the planer, that we'll have some support on the planer all the way through. That way we eliminate any snipe at the end. Now my planer is really a good planer and we don't have that problem too much, but always I just make sure that we have long pieces. When I run anything through the planer or the sander, I like to have an extra long piece someplace that helps me make sure that I don't have any issues. Now we want this to be clamped together really good, and so we brought out all of the extra clamps, and we're going to put 3 on the bottom and 2 on the top. This will make sure that we're clamped together good and tight, and that having that extra clamp on top in 2 places helps keep everything flat. And flat is a big thing when you're doing a checkerboard. This is part of when you're gluing up. You got to make sure you get everything down tight as best you can. Okay, there. We're good, we're good. And our last clamp. Okay, we got good squeeze out everywhere, and this squeeze out's all going to plane off, so we don't need to worry about how much glue. We just want to make sure we have lots. There we are. 1 hour more. Well, our glue's dry. Let's take it out of clamps and see how we did. They look good. I'm going to clean off the glue with a scraper here and get ready. What we're going to do now is we're going to plane down each of these sections. Like I say, we're at 7/8, we wanted to be at 3/4. I'm going to mark some lines across this on both sides. We don't have to be exactly 3/4. What we have to be is clean on both sides. So I'm going to make the marks like this on both sides. We're going to run it through our planer until we're clean, hopefully ending up at 3/4. We are all ready to run through our benchtop planer. I've marked both sides with a pencil so that we can tell, and we're going to plane down until we are clean on both sides, on both pieces, and then glue up. After we ran it through our planer, we ended up with a thickness of just a little over 3/4, probably 25-30 seconds. Like I say, it really doesn't make any difference what we ended up with as long as we were clean on both sides from the marks we made, and we were. So now what we're going to do right now is I'm just going to trim one end square on both pieces, and then we're going to glue both pieces together. As you're gluing up, remember to maintain dark light, dark light, dark light. I did it backwards once. It was not pretty. Oh, perfect. Now we'll wait for that to dry. Okay, we've taken our board out of clamps. You'll notice that it's a lot longer than it should be. That's because I clamped up two at once. We're gonna cut this in half. Then we're gonna go back on their saw and we're gonna cut 2 1/4 inch pieces out of it that correspond with our 2 1/2 inch stripes that we have right now. And then we reverse it and glue it up into a checkerboard. Okay, I have it all clamped up and tightened in really good. I put 2 boards on the outside and put a clamp across it to hold everything good and square. All our corners line up like they're supposed to. As soon as it's dry, it's sanding time. We now have our checkerboard all glued up out of clamps. We're ready to start sanding it. Before we start sanding it, I took some of my scrap pieces. I just cut some pieces and I glued them up in a little pattern like this, a 1/2 inch piece of maple between 2 3/4 inch pieces of walnut. I planed it at the same time that I was planing the rest of my material so that it's the same thickness, and we're going to miter it and glue it around and make a little border. So our border is going to look just like that. After gluing on the edge banding last night, I let it dry overnight, and then this morning I got up and I sanded on it with a palm sander for about an hour. So it took a little time to sand it down. If I'd have had a belt sander, it might have gone a little faster, but a palm sander worked. We did good, and we're getting ready now to put a finish on it. I'm going to set it up here. For our finish, I'm just going to use Deft rattle can finish. We're just going to spray it. I'm going to spray 1 coat as a sealer coat, and I've already done it on the back side, and spray a final coat, and that will be our finish. And I'm going to put on my glasses so I can see. There we go. The nice thing about a finish is it just really makes that walnut darken up and makes the contrast between the walnut and the maple really pop. Oh yeah, this is going to be nice. I'll tip that up so you can see it. It's got to dry a little bit before we give it the second coat, but oh, that looks great. You know, this is a great Saturday project and one that your family is going to love. I'm going to use this one to practice. Next time I play my grandkids, I might even win. We'll see you next Saturday on Woodworking with Wes.